All right. So it says I'm live, and to be honest, I don't really expect anybody to join during this live stream, but I haven't posted on this channel in a really long time. And now, as like a new season starting, I have to recognize that a majority of the people that have kind of found this channel and subscribed at one point or another. One, just right out the gate, I appreciate you. It's been quite the journey, as it is for nearly everybody who attempts to try and start a new YouTube channel. And I really didn't really get any momentum until I kind of jumped into the NFL content. And as fun as that was, and as much as I love the Packers and just following the NFL for whatever it is, I'm at a point where I've decided to start a different channel. So this was under the umbrella of Knox Service and Solution for the primary point. Now I've kind of upgraded a lot of my equipment and content, and I simply wanted to tell you all that I've appreciated you. Um, and if you would like, you're more than welcome to kind of keep up with the journey as it continues, but on a separate channel. So you can find that under Knox NAHX Studios LLC. It's a separate YouTube channel. I think right now I've only got like 16 subscribers on there, but that's okay. A lot of things have been happening with YouTube over the last couple of years, as we're all fairly well aware of. And it kind of comes down to the realization that it doesn't really matter whether you have 16 subscribers or the almost 500 that still exist here on this channel. I'm in a new location. A lot of things have changed and transitioned for me personally over the course of the last year or two, as everything's been rolling out. And this isn't anything against the NFL, but um, I'll touch on that here in a minute. It's just that personally, the things that are really a lot more authentic and personal to myself, um, really want to be able to put out there more of this podcast format in a sense, and also with my dog again from the get-go, where this stuff really started. The Kiwi walks, the 4 seasons that I did when she was like 6 months to about 2.5 years old, that was actually the more joyful experience of putting content out. When it got to the NFL, there was more commitment, which isn't a bad thing. It kept me more accountable, but there's a lot more depth that is taking place that I really can't be on board with anymore. But to segue a bit briefly, there's been a lot of talk about this kneeling, and before the season, everybody, having their own social platform. I have just one simple opinion. I don't need a whole bunch of hate comments or anything else on this. It's just simple that, simply stated, it's that from my perspective, the way that I see things today, the employees of the NFL, or as we see them, the players who are on the field putting their life out there, it's gotten to a point where we treat them like slaves. We treat them like they can't have a voice because they're tied to so much of these business entities, and they've been utilized for the purpose of monetary gain for a big business. The NFL is huge. The NFL is a beautiful game that we all enjoy. It's a great veg during, for the Northern Hemisphere especially. It's getting cold. It's whatever. But when you are saying they don't have the right to speak their mind or stand up for something, that is absolutely asinine. It's absolutely hypocritical. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now on these social media platforms, regardless of who or what or where you come from and what you do. You know, you, Today you can't even post a question or post something of intricacy or question anything without being told it's fake news or it's this or that. Like, we've been so inundated with this information, and yet we look at these people that are supposedly making all this money and blah blah, and we feel justified in just saying, stating, you don't have the right to do that. Well, I think that's bullshit. I think if anybody has a perspective in any industry better than those, it's not you, it's them. They're the ones that have those contracts, that have those commitments, that play their game, that put their life on the line in a very higher context than the general public. And I would love to see a lot more support. Unfortunately, the world's curbing in a way that none of us really have control over, and that's okay. We have control over ourselves and the way that we present themselves. The whole reason that Knox even was so much of a guiding force for me was when I really defined it. This, for me personally, I deal with a lot of emotions, and I don't really like my emotions, and I tend to shy away from them. It keeps me out of a lot of relationships that could be really cool and beneficial in the long run. That's just me personally, from my own space. But the reality is that as much as we want to shy away from those truths that exist in our world, the more we shut our own mouths and close it off, which, to be honest, I'm kind of doing. I need to shut the door on this. But I've gone at this from a point of exercising my curiosity, and it's been wonderful. I couldn't ask for more. So anyway, I know that I'm just going to ramble and things are here and there, but I guess the majority of the reason I wanted to come out here and say, hey, you guys have subscribed to my channel one way or another. YouTube algorithms changed a lot of things. So most of you probably won't even get notified because you never click the bell. And I haven't posted in close to a year now, anything. And since 2018, it really hasn't mattered at all anyway. It's been more decline than incline. So for you guys in the pursuit of starting a YouTube channel or starting fresh, let's go to love as opposed to hate. This whole channel, this whole name brand has been about that. Never again hate. You get to choose whatever X is for you. We all come from different walks of life, different perspectives, different opinions. But if there's anything that I can say to you today, it's not to shut other people up, to allow them that voice, allow them that time and that ability, rather, even just the freedom to express themselves. Everything's going to be inundated with media and everything else. So now my biggest disappointment with watching what YouTube's happening is that these media companies, news companies, are overarching, and they even dumb down what a normal individual or average individual that has a startup YouTube channel wants to bring to the table. You can't find us. It's impossible to start. Robots are probably more likely to be starting some of the bigger content than actual creators anymore. And as a person who is in graphic design, and I've done this more for the purpose of that, just to keep myself, actively involved in some of the software and all the changes and updates that are happening. It's been wonderful. But I finally have some decent equipment, a decent camera, a drone, some GoPros, audio equipment, software. Like, I've wanted to move into this more as a more competitive individual to create better content, more clean, for the purpose of the possibility. I kind of want to move more into living off grid or creating a homestead or building a container home, or it doesn't really matter at this point, but things that I really want to do, as opposed to continually tying myself to something that it literally just, it feels good when you finally get a little bit of momentum going and building a YouTube channel or whatever else it is, I'm sure. But the first video that I really had that, hit a couple thousand views. And then a lot of the content that I've deleted on this channel so far, was starting to hit over 10,000 views at a certain point, and it was wonderful. But eventually you do something wrong and then they just shut you down. And that's the problem. It's that, a lot of these business entities and a lot of the social programming has now convinced us that the players and the people that are actually involved at the top are too dangerous to have their mouths open. The opinions and the movements and, social change or whatever it is that these teams choose to do and how they choose to do it is up to us. Well, it's not. So I hope this finds you and it finds you well. I know it's been a hard year. We've all been through it. But let's do it together if we can. Let's become a community, unified, and stop freaking hating on every single individual who wants to pop up a live video or live stream or present something that might be contrarian to your own opinion. Being open-mindedness and exploring something that is otherwise, that invokes a bit of fear isn't always the worst thing that can happen. It shows. So, God bless you. Thank you for listening. If you made it this far in this video, I know it's hard enough to listen to anything, but I simply, again, wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're welcome to come and find me on another channel. Subscribe there. It's Knox Studios LLC. This channel will sit idle. I really will not be uploading to it at this time. I have no purpose to continue with, as I see it and know from my own experience in building this channel. A lot of you guys were found while doing NFL content, and a lot of you may be feeling a certain way. So find these words hopefully encouraging. Maybe I'm pressing a button. Maybe I'm out of bounds in your opinion. But the people that are actually involved, right there attached at that threshold, within the business, within those social platforms, that ultimately literally finishes with the biggest presentation of commercialism in America and the world, just like an Olympic sport. Those are the people and those are the voices that we need to be listening to in a way the most. Not all of them are, I can't speak for everybody. I can't generalize and put every single one of them in this bracket. But from my perspective, there are a greater majority of the people in there that have a better opinion than you, because they've been living it, they've been signing those contracts, they've been having those conversations. So please take this, heed my words. I am not stopping this channel for any reason other than I have different pursuits for my future. I love each and every one of you. Please enjoy the season, be respectful, and let's love one another. Peace.